Hello everyone, Freeman here, and today I'm going to be reading your thread. Let us begin. D&D players of Reddit, what's your best story of when you or a party member rolled either 20 or 1? Our group has a joke that one of the group's members' grandma is a holy deity, since she always bakes us cookies, calls us on our birthdays, etc. Basically is sweet all across the board. Well, our DM made an entire campaign on her being kidnapped and us going to rescue her. This campaign lasted 7 months roundabout. When we finally get to the wizard's keeping her captive, he is giving us a speech while standing in front of her, seated and chained up. Me, a Dilster Fugnut, draws my bow and shoots an arrow at him. Rolls a natural 1. The wizard steps to the side. My arrow hits Grandma square in the face, killing her instantly. I hold the title of Grandma Slayer. We were against a much more powerful boss than we could handle, so we had to flee. It was an undead. She was an evil queen of our land, some 100 years ago, and someone brought her back to life. Sadly, our bard was stuck on the other side of the room and could not get out. He decided that with his charisma he would try to woo the queen into marrying him, thus escaping death. Our GM thought it ridiculous, so just went along with the thinking he would solve the problem one way or another, as he didn't really want one of us to die at level 2. He told our bard to roll a d20, and he got a 20. Now our GM had to uphold the critical charisma, while also ruining the boss's ambition. It resulted in our bard becoming a spy for her, but he would also spy on her. Honestly, it was too funny seeing our GM and bard improvising a love scene on the spot between a character about to be killed and another trying to resist his charms and marriage advances. A friend was running a game where there were an impossible amount of 1s being rolled. Finally, he gave up on the normal stuff and just said, "You shit your armor." The next action, that character rolled a 1, so he says, "You slip and you fall on your own shit." We were fighting through a castle and came across the main boss, who was a knight in very fancy heavy armor. We were already out of shape from the previous fight, so one of our players casted Mage Hand and used it to try and unbuckle his armor. Our DM had him roll to see if he could manage it. Natural 20. Our cleric then blasted him with Guiding Bolt. Armor is gone and his AC went from 22 to 12. We pulled lots of shenanigans on our DM. My character wanted to enter a pub like a badass. Tried to kick the door open, rolled a 1, broke my foot. Once I cursed a character to always guess wrong when opening a door, because petty curses are brilliant. They originally started when they stated that they would push the door open. Quick roll behind the scenes determined it was indeed a pull door. I purposely said it doesn't open, and then asked the rogue to unlock it. The rogue just walked up and pulled it open. Next time he came to a door, he asked to do an intelligence roll. He had +2, to see if his character could identify if it was a push or pull door. DC 5, rolled a natural 1. Repeat process 2 more times. Results were not good and he failed again. Finally, he came to an important door and asked again. I was being kind and decided he would have advantage. Roll 2 more natural 1s. So much for that advantage. It was pretty early in the campaign of my first ever game. Our group was in some place, a conference hall I think, and being attacked by some lizard dude who was supposed to be a more than a minor villain in the campaign. I think, I never found out for sure. My character was an ex-marine and big game hunter or something like that. DM. Lizard guy shows his face. What are you going to do? Me. Shoot him in the face with X. Some big ass gun that did insane damage. DM walked me through. Well, you're going to need to roll a very high to do that. Me gets the roll. DM. Well, now you have to roll to see where you hit him. Me gets a high roll for the face. DM. Well, I need to roll for damage. Me rolls for highest damage possible. DM stares in shock. Well, I guess he's dead. I think I shaved a few hours off the campaign by doing that move. Not D&D, but a different game. Wizard trying to cast cantrips to impress some people. This is basically the spell version of lightning or fireworks to look cool. It's the easiest spell in the game, so he fails. Then he rolls the spell failure table. Major summoning of an angelic or demonic being. Then rolls the rank and gets the worst possible roll. Prince of Hell. Literally the demon who is the devil's right hand appears unbound on Earth. By rules of the game, he roams freely, doing whatever he wishes for 666 days. It pretty much destroyed the game. I was DMing players where we were having a social get-together at a restaurant/tavern. All courteous people. 2 players want to pay for the entire party. Turned into a combat encounter to get the bill first. A player manages to secure the bill and pays 10 gold. Player B decides they want to sneak 10 gold into player A's pouch. Roll Sleight of Hand, Dexterity. Check. Natural 1. Player B is now groping player A under the table. We were supposed to rescue a kid with strange powers, but our encounter was not going well. Diem made the demon holding the kid sprout wings and start flying away with him. As the ranger, I rolled to hit with a bramble arrow to stop the demon escaping the field. I convinced the DM to give me advantage. Still rolled 2 1s. I asked if a critical miss could mean I hit the kid instead. DM said he'd allow it. I used a spell slot to add force damage, hoping to knock the kid loose. It worked, but I rolled basically all max for damage. DM said the demon dropped the kid, and he landed on a root and got impaled. Instant death. So instead of this original plan, which was for the demon to escape us and track him down and actually rescue the kid from a winnable fight, the whole campaign derailed into finding a powerful wizard who could resurrect our very dead kid that no longer mattered to the forces of hell. I made a whoopsie. My friends and I were the first day of a campaign, trying to sneak around a corner, in an area filled with cultists and guards. So we do a stealth check, and all our party does fine. Except one. My friend rolls a 1, and so she goes around the corner and runs directly into a cultist. She then asks our DM, how close am I to the cultist? And the DM says, oh, I don't know, maybe kissing distance? So that's exactly what my friend does. Kisses the cultist, does a charisma check. Gets like an 18, and it works. Not only did this craziness get us out of a tough spot, it also got us allies. The cultist is now my friend's girlfriend, and her brother, also a cultist, is on our side too. I was playing in a long-running high-power Planescape campaign. The party had been split for different people to accomplish sort of vision quest type deals. I went with our monk, who was my character's best friend. I forget what plane we were on, but we went through a labyrinth to find a monastery that was full of tropes. As a weird barbarian/rogue/planar warrior mix who was true neutral, I got into the philosophy of the place, but I tried to stay out of the combat training. Finally, at one point, an NPC wouldn't stop pestering me about it. I told him I won't be able to hold back and I don't want to kill you. But he insisted. Sure enough, I hit the first round and I rolled a natural 20 and crit him with my great axe, killing him outright. Luckily, the monks, being so battle-happy, were very understanding about the whole thing and agreed not to pester me to fight anymore. I rolled to attack, natural 1. We had a rule where on a natural 1 you rolled again, and if you rolled too low, bad things happen. So I roll again, natural 20. Diem isn't sure what to do. He has me roll a third time, second, natural 20. After a little while thinking on it, he says, you do something cool, completely accidentally. While attacking that guy, you slipped somehow and ended up on scoring a critical hit on the other enemy you're next to. My group was in some cavern and we come to a gap in our path. We have no idea how far down the fall would be, but we can't see the bottom. I decided to tie a rope to myself while our tank holds on the other end. I attempt to jump over the gap and get the rope secured to a rock on the other side. I roll a 1. I fall down the pit. Our tank gets yanked down with me, and we fall until we land on a giant spider's web. Our group spends the next 2 meetings rescuing us. I was then given the title Goose Epi the Clumsy. End of the campaign. Tensions between a few members of the party in character. So we basically beat the final boss, then PvP immediately after. 3 versus 3. I'm a fighter, and my 2 teammates' casters were almost dead and out of spells, so I basically think I'm boned. One of the characters was my in-character best friend and gets downed. So immediately after, I rolled 2 natural 20s in a row and one-shot one of their PCs. They surrendered. We were in a room or cave, I don't quite remember, but I was getting kind of paranoid that our DM wanted us to explore certain rooms more. You know the he's hiding something feeling? So I was checking everything into detail, but my rolls were all so bad that the outcome was just terribly funny. I checked the floor for traps and such. You see a floor. I checked the pile of rocks. You see rocks. They're rocky. It was so bad that my party bought me a t-shirt about it. Love it. Kinda reminds me of a time the DM had a brain fart describing stuff. This first one I was DMing. I had a party of 2 at the time, because no one showed up. One was a gnome illusion wizard named Sparkles who had a strength of 4, so he couldn't open doors by himself. The other was a pretty generic barbarian that never really had a name, don't ask. So I set up this boss fight that was kind of a joke. Now that I say it, it wasn't even really a boss, more of a mini-boss. It was a bees master. Essentially a beast master, but only for bees. At the end, Sparkles got the boss's wand. A beehive just kinda impaled on a stick. With this, he could summon a swarm of bees that would do anything he says. At some point I decided that if he had enough bees, he could kinda Green Lantern them into objects. So as the logical progression of things, he made a couch. Why a couch? I don't know, but apparently a flying couch made of bees is the most comfortable form of travel. While on this couch, the bard asks what it feels like, and I have a moment of pure genius. It feels like bees. I will never live that one down. Thank you all so much for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe and share the videos around. If you'd like to see more of me, Afreemanornot, or some of the other people on this channel, I recommend you go to the description and check the links, and you'll get to them right away. Cheerios, friends.